Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into my podcast, Xena Life as a Dominatrix. This is episode 12. Episode 12 will be broadcasted tomorrow, April 12th, 2022. Today's topic, bondage. Bondage is sexy. Bondage is fun. Bondage is erotic. You're probably wondering, why are people into bondage? It might have started out with their childhood. Maybe they have, the person had a sibling or a cousin or a neighbor that grabbed rope and tied them up and humiliated them in front of everybody. And maybe they tried to break free from this rope and in their adulthood, maybe it just stuck with them. Or another possibility, maybe they watched a lot of Batman and Catwoman or other superheroine movies that involves rope, or reading a lot of comics, which some of them have rope bondage scenes, like so and so try to break free, pow, bam. So there's so many reasons, and in their adulthood, they're just into it. But why are people into bondage? I mean, it is very erotic. It's erotic to use the rope to tie up a slave, a submissive, a bondage slut, or tying up a partner. It's very erotic. Also, having the feeling of the rope on your body, it could also be a form of eroticism as well. Also, some people like to be an exhibitionist, so they enjoy being put on display while in bondage. They enjoy having their photos taken while they're in bondage. It's also a work of art. It's very artistic. It's very creative. Um, and the person into bondage and the person administering the bondage, they see it as a work of art, which I think it is personally. They enjoy the sensual pleasure. They enjoy the sexual pleasure as well while being in bondage. They enjoy the helplessness. They enjoy feeling vulnerable. The partner tying up their partner enjoys different bondage acts, like whether it's, lots of foreplay, lots of teasing, and mixing pain with pleasure. Also role playing. So, like for instance, teacher student, like, okay, you've been a bad student. I'm just going to have to discipline you by putting you in a hog tie and having my way with you because you haven't been doing your homework. Shame on you. Now, while you're in this hog tie, you have no choice but to take my spankings. So many different role play scenarios that can go on as well. Also, some people enjoy placing their own selves into bondage. For this, I would totally recommend having somebody by your side. But what's most important with bondage? Safe, sane, and consensual. So give your partner a code word. The person in bondage, say that code word. Like, for instance, if you feel dizzy, for instance, say that code word. Or you feel lightheaded, say that code word. Or you feel like your arm or hand or leg or whatever is falling asleep, say that code word. It is very, very important. So that totally comes first, safe, sane, and consensual. So discuss the scene with your partner before you begin. Set the boundaries, set your own boundaries as well, and go from there. Have fun with it. There's so many different forms of, or different things to use with bondage, like most common, rope bondage. So there's hemp rope, there's nylon rope, there's cotton rope. Where to get this rope? Well, there's if the city you live in has a BDSM shop, I would suggest going there firsthand and feel the quality of the rope. Or you could order online. You would have to do your own research as to what particular store carries good rope bondage. Also, don't be afraid to email the store manager or store owner, get input on what to start out with, what type of rope, what they recommend. That's good too. With rope bondage, safety scissors. So that's just in case your partner's arm or leg or whatever falls asleep. You would have to cut the rope with these safety scissors, because you don't want, your partner to have its entire arm falling asleep. It's just super important to just cut the rope. Other bondage, leather cuffs, steel handcuffs, bondage tape. Also, like electrical tape, you could go to your local hardware store for that. Even like bandages, like also found at not a hardware store, but maybe a health store that carries gloves and alcohol, and like a pharmacy, they might have bandages. And that could also, be a form of bondage. Saran wrap, you could find that at the store. Another form of bondage. Leather belts. So if you have leather belts, you could use that, tying your partner, having your partner's arms and legs tied together by using leather belts. With metal bondage, so chains, another hardware store find. They might be pretty heavy and pretty cold on your partner's body, but who said bondage was comfortable? And if you want to upgrade, this would probably cost the most, having a straitjacket and a sleep sack. So I would recommend like a leather straitjacket or a leather sleep sack that's comfortable. Wait, who said bondage was comfortable? It's definitely a predicament, but basically when like for instance, if I'm using my leather sleep sack, the person in this leather sleep sack feels very comfortable. And it is comfortable. The material is comfortable. The smell of the leather. Also, not only they feel comfortable, but they feel helpless because they're tied up pretty good in that sleep sack. So collar and leash and ball gags and blindfolds. Other bondage toys that could be used. That's if, your partner is into that. You'd have to, discuss with your partner, hey, you want to try that? You want to try that? Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's try it. Let's see. But yeah, trust is everything. You have to trust the person that you're playing with, first of all. You have to be with the person that you're tying up. You can't just leave them alone. I remember hearing a story where a long time ago, somebody said that, oh yeah, the mistress left me in this dog cage and left me in here for like 3 hours and then came back. I was like, wow, okay, well that I'm like thinking, why are you telling me that? Hey, it's none of my business. But personally, I would suggest not leaving your partner, the person you're playing with, alone in bondage. Super important. But yeah, trust is everything. Give that code word, say that code word for whatever reason, or if you need a break, or if you need some water, tell tell your partner, hey, I need that. And yeah, also like chastity training. Chastity training is also a form of bondage. So um, a woman might place their husband or their boyfriend or their partner, their slave, their submissive, whoever, in a chastity device. So basically, that means their penis belongs to the woman and they are bound in that chastity device. They can't be let go. The woman has the key and you don't. Ha ha ha. um, there are different bondage positions as well. Um, like, for instance, tying your partner to the bedpost, to the bed rail, having them spread eagle. Um, and also, foreplay might happen as well. But again, you would have to, discuss that beforehand, discuss your, what you would like to experience and what your limits are. So foreplay is one of them. Cool. But yeah, the person that's restrained, they give up all control. They just let go. They enjoy being in bondage. They just surrender all control to their partner, to their dominant one, whoever they're playing with, the person that they trust. So with foreplay, like vibrators might go on, a lot of kissing, a lot of licking, a lot of sucking, biting, maybe even candle wax. So that might that might make you jump because it might be so intense. But if you're into that, you want to communicate that. And if you're not, you also want to communicate that. So mixing pain with pleasure. So nipple play can be painful. Teasing can be painful. Like maybe you're spread eagle and your partner holds a vibrator on your privates, and then they won't let you finish come. That's totally like orgasm denial, orgasm control. But mixing pain with pleasure, it's pretty exciting as well. So different, rope bondage or bondage techniques. So whole body rope ties, upper body rope ties, lower body rope ties. Where to learn all these ties and all these bondage techniques, you might be wondering. You could take maybe like a bondage course, or maybe online, maybe a dominatrix's um, uh, like, for instance, maybe she has a class online and she's teaching bondage. Maybe you could learn from her, or maybe your town or city has like different BDSM classes. Maybe you could attend one. Also, there's bondage books out there where you could learn different ties and techniques as well. Um, but and movies, I mean, they have their own. It's just a movie. It's not real, but to watch it on movies, on film, may perhaps inspire you. But there are so many different techniques with bondage. So there's frog ties. So frog tie, your partner's sitting down, and your partner's ankles and thighs are restrained together. That's an example of a frog tie. And their arms are restrained behind them, and maybe they might be blindfolded and gagged. Hog tie, so your partner is laying on his or her stomach, and their wrists are bound behind them, and their ankles are bound behind them as well. So that's an example of a hog tie. Having your partner standing up. I would just suggest laying down, because if your partner is standing up in bondage, they might feel a little wobbly, like they might lose sense of well, you definitely want to be by your partner, but maybe if you have some kind of pole in your home, having your partner bound to this pole. That's what I would suggest. A very sturdy pole, that is. Suspension and shibari. I would suggest definitely learning from somebody if you're really into learning intricate bondage, suspension and shibari. Suspension is like you're suspended off ground. I would definitely recommend learning from somebody for that. But shibari could be spiritual. It could be a ritual to some as well. There are different riggers, different, like I said, different bondage teachers where you could learn from, and they're pretty much called a rigger. Yeah. So, but I would start out slow. I would start out simple. Restrain the wrists together, the feet together, the ankles together. That's pretty simple. Yeah, let's see what else. So, like I said, safety. It's all about safe, sane, and consensual. And with suspension, like I mentioned, that could be dangerous also, like maybe a nerve compression or circulation problems, or the person in suspension might faint due to like perhaps increase in blood pressure, but that's just pretty much like extreme bondage. But I would definitely start out slow, where your ankles tie together, wrists tie together. Don't tie it too tight. Your partner needs the circulation for sure. And with suspension, there's other techniques where the partner hangs upside down that could also be dangerous as well. But there are some people, they're definitely like bondage experts, where they're just, they love it. They love they love to have their limits pushed. So they love hanging upside down, to each its own. But with bondage, you want to remain sober. Your partner remains sober. Super, super important. Before being placed in bondage, you want to eat a well-balanced meal beforehand, of course. Don't be on an empty stomach, because you might feel lightheaded while you're in bondage. And like I mentioned earlier, you want to stay with the partner while they're in bondage. You don't want to leave them alone whatsoever. Super important. So, yeah, there's so much to learn with bondage, and there's so many reasons why somebody might be in bondage, or there's so many reasons why people like placing people in bondage, why I enjoy it. Well, as a dominatrix, I enjoy it because the person just gives up all control, and I'm there to discuss their limits, discuss what they're into, what they would like to accomplish in a scene. Also, like, if the person is only into teasing while being in bondage, that's totally cool. Or if the person likes to be in bondage and experiment with receiving pain, that's totally cool as well. So, but why I enjoy it, I enjoy it immensely. I enjoy learning also different bondage techniques. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I still enjoy learning. Like, for instance, different rope bondage positions, and pushing the person's limits while they're in bondage as well. And it could also be like sensory overload or sensory deprivation to the person. So, like, for instance, if the person is in my leather sleep sack and wearing earmuffs, ball gag, blindfold, and they have no sense of time, no sense of of where I'm at, because they can't see me. They don't know what's coming up next. So the excitement, um, it's exciting for me because I'm going to do, I might grab a riding crop next, or I might grab clothespins next for the person's nipples. So it's very exciting for sure. But there's so much to learn, and so much to experience with bondage. It could definitely be sensual, sexual, erotic, a work of art, of course, and fun. Yeah, and I'm remembering a couple different stories from the past with different bondage. Like, I hosted parties in Chicago where I would have my friends. They were, one was a rigger and one was into being in bondage, and they would put on the most intricate, beautiful display for the audience. And she was into shibari, and he was into shibari. So it was just a total work of art, and the audience just really enjoyed watching the two of them getting into the bondage. And it was, for them, it was definitely spiritual and beautiful, super beautiful. Also, in the past, I allowed photos to be taken, and then there were some people, they would indicate, okay, I don't want my photo taken whatsoever because of the privacy. But then there are a lot of people that enjoyed having their photos taken. So the rigger would tie up the person, and then their photo would be taken, and then yeah, they just really enjoyed having their photos taken while they were in bondage. So to each its own. So also, I'm remembering another story where I had a teacher-student scene in my one of my videos where it was a naughty student, and I had her tied to the whipping post, and her legs were spread, and she was standing up, and she was gagged, bound to this whipping post while her legs were spread. And I tied her entire body with rope, lots of rope, and just spanked her, used the riding crop, using clothespins on her breast, did some breast bondage. Breast bondage is where you tie the breasts together. Not so tight, of course, because again, circulation. So yeah, I definitely remember that. And also, some people like the role play, like the damsel in distress, like their partner will tie them up, and they enjoy the struggle. They enjoy trying to attempt to break free from the bondage. So I'm remembering another video that I did with a friend of mine where I tied her in a hog tie, and I flogged her entire body while she was on the floor trying to wiggle free from the cuffs. So with damsel in distress, that I remember like different cartoons, like Batman, Catwoman, or I can't remember the other ones, but there was like a damsel in distress where the person, female, male, whoever it was, I can't remember, but they were trying to break free from the rope. So it could be a thrill to some. So there's like different role play scenes. You could get creative with it too. Like maybe your husband came home late from work, and you found, you found out that he was doing bad at his job. So you want to teach him a lesson and tie him up to the bed frame, spread eagle, and tease him, and maybe discipline him for not doing a good job at work. So that's another idea of role play. So there's so much like different scenes where you could just have fun with it. But bondage is fun. Bondage is creative. It's erotic. It's sensual. It could be sexual. That's up to you and your partner. You would have to discuss limits, boundaries, and it's all about safe, sane, and consensual. And yeah, I hope this little chit chat talk helped. If you have any questions about bondage or whatever, you're definitely welcome to send me an email.